Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Castaneda Spiritus Camp Meeting Association. And on behalf of our pastor and our board of trustees, I'd like to welcome you here to the Andrew Jackson Davis building. Please turn off your cell phones, or at least put them on mute during the service. What we will do today is a special day here in the organization. We are going to be certifying one of our own, Claire Whalen. We are going to be certifying her today. And what I would like to do first, before we do anything else, is to bring up our president, Reverend Maida Jones, to do the ceremony so we can do this at the beginning of the service. And then it gives her time to rest before she actually does the lecture. So we bring up Reverend Maida Jones.
Good morning. All right, I'm Reverend Maida Jones, and I am the president of the Southern Castaneda Spiritualist Camp Meeting Association, which I'll Board of Trustees, which I'll be referring to as SCSCMA for the rest of this. And as Reverend Gates says, we're celebrating a very special occasion today because one of our students is now ready to assume her status as SCSCMA certified medium. So we're doing this, of course, during the pandemic. So we're going to try to observe the social distancing and whatnot. But at this time, I would ask the Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates and Claire Whalen to step forward. The certifying evaluator guides and advises the student through the whole process required to attain certified status. And the road to certification is not short. Claire has worked very hard. She's attended classes, she's read, she's demonstrated her ability publicly for years now, and is finally ready. So Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates, as Claire's certifying evaluator, I ask you, do you feel that Claire has fully completed her required coursework, satisfactorily demonstrated her mediumistic abilities, and that she will be an asset to our association as a certified medium?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, would you like to say a few words about her?
I've had Claire as a student, and I actually want to thank Reverend Janie Owens for taking her most of the way. Janie had to step out at a point, and I took Claire on to finish the program with her. So she actually had a lot of teachers out here. A lot of teachers actually helped her and encouraged her and got her through the program. And as an organization, that's what we do. We help and encourage the students to move them through the program to be certified here. And I'm very appreciative that she's here in the organization and going to be one of our new mediums.
Okay, so at this time, it's my honor to present Claire Whalen with her SCSCMA certified medium diploma. It'll fill out. Unfortunately, we have to dispense with the hugs and the handshakes that usually come with this occasion, but we'll emotionally give her one, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now she gets to sit down and relax until we bring her back up again. I'd like you to stand for our opening prayer and remain standing for the first hymn. Infinite Spirit, I want to thank each and every one of you here today and all the loved ones from Spirit and the connections to the mediums and the loved ones of this organization in Spirit. They are here today celebrating with Claire as she receives her paperwork and sending best wishes and love and support to her this day. This we say, amen. What we're going to do is sing Morning Has Broken. Somebody stole my CD for this. One of the things. So he's going to do a cappella. So I'll start. Just follow me, guys. So we'll do Morning Has Broken. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning,
Praise for them springing fresh from the world. Sweet the rain dew fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God recreation of the new day. The morning has broken like the first morning. Earthward has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the world. We did awesome. Please be seated. I think we got off into a different tune there towards the end. So hopefully that Cat Stevens didn't mind us doing that. Located in your bulletin, we're handing out bulletins. So if you didn't get one, they're in the back. They have everything in them, so we don't have to pass out the hymnals. In your bulletin, where you have the Declaration of Principles. Please recite after me. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding and a sense of expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the soul called death is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomenon of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm that the moral responsibility of the individual, and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. In the bulletin is our healing prayer. Please recite with me. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. We're going to join now in a meditation. We do not have hands-on healing anymore right now. So during meditation, you can send healing. You can bring healing into your vibration. We're going to do a meditation before we bring Clara up to speak. What I'd like you to do is just close your eyes and breathe. Allow that energy, that breath, that vibration of energy to bring it in through your nose, hold it in your lungs, and breathe out into the universe. Allow that energy, that vibration that radiates around you, that connection to the God source, that connection to your higher self and your guides and protectors. Allowing that energy to breathe in from all your guides that are overshadowing you. Allowing that energy to radiate within your lungs, fan out into your body. Allowing that vibration, that energy of love that has been sent to you to heal, to uplift, and to bless your being. I want you to visualize your feet on this floor. There have been so many meetings, so many gatherings here of spiritualists. The energy radiates here within this building. And as you start to pull that vibration up through the base of your feet, I want you to feel the love, the happiness, the connection to spirit as it moves into your body. Bringing that energy through your legs and into the base of your spine. Allowing that energy, that vibration to move through your body, affecting every cell, every molecule, every part of your body. Allowing that energy to move from the base of your spine upward into your heart. And as that energy radiates into your heart, I want you to feel the vibration of love. As it mixes with the love that you have, allowing that vibration to bless you, to connect to you. And as you sit here in this space, I want you to think around someone that needs healing. Maybe the person needing healing is you. Allow the energy to radiate out from you, allowing it to encircle you, or encircle the individual, or the person, or the pet. Allowing that energy to bless them with health and balance. Now as you breathe in this energy again, you're breathing in the energy from your higher self, allowing it to radiate down through your body, allowing it to manifest itself in your heart also. Allowing that balance, that energy of blessings from you within your own being. And as that energy radiates around you, know that your guides, your healing guides, your master teachers feel it, allowing them to communicate with you. Allow them to overshadow your being. Bring thoughts of love, compassion, and inspiration. Now as your loved ones are here, circling your vibration, send love into the spirit world, allowing that love for each and one of your loved ones to feel it. To let them know that you've been thinking of them, allowing them to understand that true blessing from this earth plane to the spirit world, allowing you to send light, love, compassion. Even if they're lost, if they have not found their complete way, you are sending a light, blessings of love, and compassion to lead them on the way, to give them that blessing from your heart, allowing that energy to bless them. And before we leave this meditation, before we leave this connection, I want you to treat yourself to a beautiful light energy around you. Let it radiate and encircle your body, knowing that your guides have seen it and will manifest it throughout your life for weeks to come, allowing it to heal, allowing it to balance, allowing you to find your true purpose, your true endeavor within your life, that true connection that is you. And when you thank your guides, your loved ones, and thank yourself for sending this energy and these blessings into the world of spirit, take another breath. Allow yourself to breathe out beautiful energy. And when you're ready, bring yourself back to this room, back here to this building. Okay. Before we bring her up, we've got to sing This Little Light of Mine. We're going to have you stand up. And we got music for this one. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I do not think we're going to be called to go on the road. So now, today, our speaker, she is certified here as our newest certified medium here in the organization. She has been a student, a worker. She has encouraged other students to work in the program, and she has been a blessing to have as a student for me, because she didn't ask too much of me. We just got her through. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Whalen.
Thank you all so much for being here today. Special day for me as I receive my mediumship certification. As I was preparing, I had a lot of time to reflect and be grateful for everyone that has gotten me here today. First, I'd like to thank Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates, my certifying evaluator, for assisting me with the completion of the program. As he mentioned, couldn't have done it without you. And I would love to also thank my previous CE, Reverend Janie Owens. She's always been extremely supportive of my mediumship. I'd also like to give a little special thank you to Marie Gates for being a positive ray of sunshine and always being super supportive and encouraging. I'd also love to thank all the teachers that I've taken classes with along the way. I've been blessed to take classes with Reverend Maida Jones, Reverend Suzanne DeWeese, Reverend Diane Davis, Joan Piper, and so many more. Special thank you to Joni. Your class gave me the early foundation tools and encouragement and courage to keep continuing on the process. I really appreciate you. And to my mother, my greatest teacher in both mediumship and in life, thank you so much for all your love, support, and encouragement. As a teacher, you can be tough. You push us to stretch our abilities and do as much evidential mediumship as we can, but you always give us all the tools that we need for success, as you have many times for me in life. And as a mother, you are the best. You're my best friend. You're my partner in crime, and so much more. And you make life special. Thank you so much for you. I'm eternally grateful. And I'd like to say thank you to all my family and friends, including my mother's husband, John Venerosa, and my family back home in New York, my father, my father's wife, and my sister, who have always been extremely supportive. And I would love to thank the association, the SCSCMA, as well as the Board of Trustees, and the overall camp community as a whole. Thank you so much. The student program can be difficult. It's a long process, and there's so many wonderful people that take classes here. And I just want to give a special thank you to all my peers and fellow students, many of whom are here today, for going along the journey with me. Not everyone chooses to, become an official student. A lot of people take classes for personal development, and you've all been such a joy, so supportive, so sweet, and so wonderful. And I just want to acknowledge that it's not easy to stand up and step out on faith and open your mouth and not quite know what's going to come out of it when you first start doing mediumship. So I just want to give an acknowledgement to all the students and everyone that I've worked with along my journey. And a little bit about my journey and how I got to this point. As many of you know, I was born and raised in New York, where I lived for 30 years before I moved to Florida. Don't do any math during this, by the way, okay? I'm still 29. And during the majority of that time, I really wasn't aware of spiritualism. I wasn't aware that it was a religion. I was raised with traditional religious beliefs that were practiced by both sides of my family. But I never really felt a strong connection to that belief system. As a child, I felt the teachings had given me more questions than answers, and it just didn't resonate with my spirit. I was blessed to have parents who were both spiritual seekers. They never, tried to box me into any particular belief system or thought process, but I just didn't really feel anything else, that I felt a connection to either at that particular time. My mother raised me as a single mom, and from a very young age, she told me that not going to college was not an option for me. Maybe an option for other people's children, but not for me. A little bit of pressure on an 8-year-old, but that's okay. It was a blessing. It gave me a goal, and it set me up for success. And I went on to earn a bachelor's degree in sociology from St. John's University, and then went out into the real world, time to pay bills. And when I decided to move forward and think about what I wanted to do as far as a career, my main objective and goal was to help people. And with that goal in mind, I went into the field of social services and behavioral health, where I worked for many years. And during that time, I was privileged to work with many diverse people and their families. I primarily worked with adults with severe and persistent mental illness. I worked in residential programs, and I worked in hospital programs. I did it for about 10 plus years. And I went in with the goal to help people, but I admit that I was a little bit idealistic in my perception of, what that meant. But I did always make an effort to connect with my clients. I tried to give them tools such as positive affirmations that they could use to try to, build positive change in their life. And they were always extremely gracious and always extremely grateful. The work was both challenging and rewarding. I learned many, many lessons along the way. I learned lessons in patience, lessons in empathy, lessons in humility, and most important, the strength of the human spirit, including my own. And one of the big takeaways is that unfortunately, despite many Americans, 1 in 5 Americans in any particular year having a mental health issue, unfortunately, it's still largely misunderstood and stigmatized. All people share the same types of hopes and dreams and primarily just want to be seen and understood. And as I reflect now on those years that I worked in the field, I realized I was very much being guided at that time, although I may not have realized it. And Spirit was trying to work through me at that time to create positive change. And as I moved along, I had some challenging life circumstances, as we all do. And the fact that I felt that lack of spiritual connection kind of led me to feel a lack of faith. But I always had a strong draw to mediumship. I always believed in the continuity of life after death. I always believed in the ability to communicate with the spirit world. I just didn't really know what spiritualism was at that time. But I read books on mediumship, and I don't know if anyone remembers, but back before John Edwards was, the world famous John Edwards, I would stay up late at night as a teenager to watch his show on the Sci-Fi Channel before he was, broadcast all over the world. Because I wanted to understand the mechanics of mediumship. I wanted to understand how it worked. And so I would just kind of try to study how he did it. I've always been, I guess, what you might want to call an old soul. I've always had a certain knowing and certain experiences throughout my life, but I don't know at that time that it ever clicked for me that, I was mediumistic. I just didn't really have language for it, I guess. And sometimes life without faith can be difficult. Sometimes it can make you feel like life is just happening to you and you don't have any real control over the outcome. But once I moved to Florida, everything fell in place. One of the first times I came and actually attended the service at the Coleman Memorial Temple, I received a spiritual healing and I became very emotional. And I didn't really understand why at the time. But I just felt so connected to this place, to Casadega. And as I learned more about the teachings and I realized that it really resonated with what my belief systems had always been, it kind of clicked for me. And the beauty of spiritualism is that it allows us to have faith without dogma and doesn't claim to have all the answers. It teaches the personal responsibility of the individual, and it allows us to create a life of our choosing. And shortly after, I began to take classes in mediumship and spiritual healing, and I took classes on and off for many years before becoming an official student. As I said earlier, about 6 years prior and 4 years during, so that equals 10. And along the way, my mother always reminded me if I had only started sooner, I could have been finished by now. But I always had the same response. I had to do it in my time, and I had to do it when it was meant for me and when it was my journey. And we all have to take the path that's meant for us. Even if it makes it longer, even if it makes it more challenging, whatever it may be, we have to take the path that's meant for us. The universe is always conspiring in our favor, but it's conspiring for our highest and best and what's meant to be. It's not necessarily conspiring for what we want something to be, right? Sometimes we try to push and mold things and ask for things, and then later we have an aha moment like, oh, I'm really glad that didn't work out. So I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for all the ups and downs, and I wouldn't change anything now. Medium has been such an amazing gift in my life. It's a great gift, but it's also a great responsibility. As mediums, we see people in varying different stages of life. A lot of people that are grieving, that are really wanting to connect with their loved ones. So we have to take that responsibility very seriously. And as spiritualists, we have a very important history. Early spiritualists were essentially advocates. They fought for women's rights, they fought for children's rights, they fought for universal suffrage, they fought for freedom and equality for all people. So it's a history that we can be very proud of. But those are all causes that are still very relevant today and need our continued support and continued advocacy. Women in particular played a pivotal role in early spiritualism. Women like the Fox sisters and Cora Richmond, who Cora is my favorite. Cora was an extremely talented and gifted trance lecturer. She had minimal formalized education, and at a very young age of approximately 12, she began to do long lectures in trance where the topics were selected by the audience. So she had no knowledge beforehand, and she could just lecture on politics or whatever the topic was that the audience happened to throw out for her. She also went on to become a spiritualist minister, as well as she was one of the original people who helped to found the National Spiritualist Association. So she's my girl crush. But I'm proud to stand with all the pioneers of spiritualism and proud of our history. And as we move forward, just want to talk a little bit about, kindness and positivity and how we can kind of continue to spread that out into the world. As children, Mr. Rogers gave us the sage advice that was given to him by his mother when he had witnessed some tragedies and things that he didn't necessarily understand as a child. She said, look for the helpers. You'll always find people who are helping. And then as adults, we have to challenge ourselves to, be the helpers. Recent history, unfortunately, we've had far too many tragedies, and we see now more than ever the work of our everyday heroes, our doctors, our nurses, our first responders, and everyone chipping in and doing the best that they can to try to help. But we're not all called to those professions, but there's definitely things that we can all do to try to create positive change. Mother Teresa said, I used to think that prayer changes things, but now I know that prayer changes us and we change things. As spiritualists, we study natural law and we understand the impact that our thoughts and actions have on universal energy. However big or small our actions, they vibrate out into the universe. Everything we do, including simple random acts of kindness, basic compliments, just little day-to-day things that we can do to show kindness to each other, make a huge impact. Just a quick story about random acts of kindness that I thought was interesting. I was in a drive-thru. I think it was Wendy's about a year ago, and I had just gotten a bonus at work, so I was like feeling a little flush. So I told the cashier to charge me for the car behind me. I said, I'm going to go ahead and pay for them. And she said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. So she showed me the receipt, and they had a totally different order, and it wasn't much, by the way, but the dollar amount of the total was the exact same as my order, down to the penny. So I was, going through some changes at that time and trying to figure out what I was doing and where I was going. So that was more of a blessing for me because it was an acknowledgement and it was synchronicity and it was all the things I needed at the time to say like, okay, go ahead, keep moving forward. You're doing the right thing. So sometimes we need it more than they do. It helps all of us. So, just extending kindness. I recently read a few different stories about programs around the world that they're calling Adopt a Grandparent, which I loved for many reasons. One being that I loved positive news stories, but also I was blessed to have wonderful grandparents that I was very close with. So it kind of touched my heart. One program was in England, and it was established back in 2019. And it was where a younger adult would be linked with an older elderly adult in a nursing home for them to visit and just bond with them and for socialization and to combat loneliness. And the woman that actually established it said that she mainly did it for the elderly adults, obviously, for their benefit. And then as the program progressed forward, she realized that the younger adults were getting just as much from the knowledge and stories that the older adults were sharing with them. So I thought that was really wonderful. And now they've actually expanded out the program with the pandemic happening where they're actually doing virtual. So they can, still FaceTime or Skype in, just touch in, touch base, talk and chat just to, cheer them up. And then there was also another program similar in Bolivia where it was actually born out of need during the pandemic, where people that had older parents or grandparents that they couldn't really get to because of distance and they couldn't check in on, they would switch off with different neighbors. So the neighbors would go check in on their parents, if this one would go check in on their grandparents to make sure that they had, food, medication, and all the basic supplies that they needed. So I just thought it was really amazing story. Just what a blessing to be able to help our elderly within society, and also put family members' minds at ease to know that their family members are being cared for. So we might not have done a stellar job, but I selected the hymn, This Light of Mine, for all of us to sing today. And I selected it with intention because, we all have that light within, and we all get to choose how we want to project that light out into the world. And thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of my journey and being here today. I am forever grateful for spiritualism. It has given me countless blessings, and has also helped to restore my faith. And I am forever grateful for the gift of mediumship. It has allowed me the opportunity to continue to pursue my goals, to help others, and continue to be of service. So let's all work together in a positive light, move forward, extend love, light, and kindness whenever possible. I'd like to close with a quote from the amazing Maya Angelou. Love life, engage in it, give it all you've got, love it with a passion, because life truly does give back many times over what you put into it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Claire. Well, at this point, we do not have a collection as far as the normal collection, because we don't want to be in your face. We do have a prosperity bowl in this corner of the church. So if you feel that you would like to donate to the organization, we have a prosperity bowl right there. So you can drop it in there. If you are watching online, you can always go to www.castega.org and push the donate button and donate to us. Or if you shop on Amazon, put us in as your charity. We have been out of sorts for a little bit during the pandemic, so any donation to the organization is well received, and we send our love to you for that event. So I'm going to say a prayer over the money that is going to be taken today. Infinite Spirit, want to thank each and every one of you here today and the ones online, that the prosperity, the gifts of love and support for this organization will grow and will benefit the organization, the people who come here, and the organization for many years to come. As we say, amen. I have a few announcements. Next Wednesday, the message bearer here for Demonstration of Spirit will be me. Next Sunday, our speaker will be the Reverend Gregory Kent, and the Sunday Lyceum speaker will be Pauline Gold. So, and all this is live streamed here on the thing. I will not be here next week, so hopefully the people I put in charge will be able to run it all. So, but participate in absentee healing. Please print the name, first name, initial of a loved one. And our healing book at this corner of the church. You can always go to the website at castega.org and see all the events and download our recording. I am recording the service again on recording plus live stream. So you can either get it off our website on the recording or do live stream from our YouTube channel. So I just want you to know that we are live streaming both the Lyceum and the church service, and we are going to be taping it also because we had sometimes the internet gets busy and we can't really get on. So we're gonna tape it also so we can get all the services so you can be able to listen. And I will be here in the near future. I'll be taking a lot of the old recordings from Eloise Page, Marie Lilla, some of the speakers that were here in the day, and we are digitizing them, and they will be on the website. So you'll be able to listen to some of our founders as they did the Sunday service. So we're in the process of working on that as we speak. And pretty soon you'll start seeing those lectures start coming up on the website for you to listen to. So please rise. You're able. We're going to do Amazing Grace. And hopefully, we can blame the music on the pandemic. I gotta do music, singing. We got it. I'm trying to get all the words in here, but sometimes.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. The stage that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How precious gift that grace on you, the hour I first believed. The many dangers, toils, and snares I have already gone. Those days has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been dead in 1,000 years, bright shining as the sun, with lowest things to see God's grace, and when we first begun.
Please be seated. Now, this will be the end of our live stream of the service, and I hope you tune in next week for our live stream for next week. Thank you so much for tuning in.